Rightio, tube. Right, it's important apparently. Right, tubers, we are down in my battery shed. Now, last video I showed you what I was planning on doing and testing all this sort of stuff, so I've moved a little bit forward. However, it took me over 2 weeks to release that last video since I recorded it. I'm very sorry about that. Time and all that sort of gear. Right, some stuff I'm actually excited about. Plug battery hasher. I did replace those 2 packs that were very, very low, and this happened. The picture will go here. And basically, I replaced 54 and 55, and I replaced 55 with one that was of a similar capacity. So I'm going to continually, every time I get really low in the battery bank voltage, I'm going to continually try and improve this thing and just keep replacing my lower batteries, because obviously I don't have any more space, so that's what I continue to do. Right, moving forward about what this video is. Battery hashing. I actually have it working. Right, come over here so I can show you. Basically, on my computer screen here, we've got the Batrium stuff. We've got 16% state of charge. We took out 500 amp hours out of the batteries. As you can see, it's a lot more balanced now that I've been playing with more packs, and we're getting closer and closer to that 600 amp hours, which I always claim my battery was. We've only taken out 3.9 kilowatt hours since midnight last night, and we've only put in 1 kilowatt hour so far this morning. Now underneath here, okay, we have got the battery hasher. Now this is version 1.0, and let me walk you through it. So up here we've got the power coming in from my little splitter box, and there is 25mm square cable coming down from there. Obviously that's coming through the shunt, so it will tell me how much power it's using if I turn the inverters off and stuff like that. I also got my Bang Good little clamp meter, which is actually on special, so I can put that on there and I can tell how much power is coming into the batteries. We got min max clear, there we go. So it's turned off at the moment. Now it's interesting when you turn it on, the unit itself uses half an amp at 51 volts, 51.55 volts. So if we do maths, we got 51.55 times 0.5 equals 25 watts, I think. Is that how that works? Was that maths correct? So that draws 25 watts. Now that is a 720 60 amp DC to DC converter, and that's running my little rig here. And basically the way this is set up, I've got the cable, so it is a shared negative, which I don't like. Given that they're open, that could be pretty dangerous, and I'd like to address that later on down the track. But this is version 1. So I've got the positive coming out on this side. Now the positive just goes to a little Pico board, so that runs the motherboard itself, and then all the other power is just 12 volts. So I've just picked it up off of the negative and positive here, and I've just cut up a PSU, cut the cables off for the 12 volt going into the motherboard, the 12 volt coming into the top of the video card, and the 12 volt going into the riser card. And later on down the track I'll put a second riser card on. I'm going to have to remake this harness. And then I've got fuses here. Unfortunately I don't have fuses on this side. I probably should, and we'll look into doing that in the next version of it. Now it's actually all turned off at the moment, but it is, I think at the moment, yes, it's being controlled by the Batrium. So that cable there comes around and then plugs into my Watchmon expansion board here. Now I've got 2 of them plugged in. Now that was the old way I've done it. I'm only actually using 1 relay now, just because of the way the Batrium stuff works, and I didn't understand it properly. So let me show you how this can turn on that based on my shunt voltage. Rightio. So let's go over here. All that we got to do is click on menu. We click on control logic, and then we've got low shunt volt, right? So if I want to turn this back on again or off, I've got to pass that threshold, that 52 volts. Now let's change that by clicking edit, and we go, it is on at the moment, and we change this voltage. So we got Can we move that a little bit? We can. So we got 51.63. So if we go 51.6, 61. So we go 62. Enter. So 61.62, and we go save. Now the more important part that you've got to do is you've got to worry about these two figures here. Now these two figures here are delayed restart. So basically at the moment I've got that set to 600 seconds. So it's got to wait 10 minutes. It's got to go past this figure here for more than 10 minutes before it'll actually change its state of charge, right? So we want to set that to say 10 seconds. Just for the sake of actually getting this to work. Now all that's turned on, that's all plugged in. Now if we go save, so we've got to get the voltage above that voltage. So what I might do is go down to here, turn off my inverter. So SBU, change it to utility, apply. You hear a little click. Didn't hear a click. Oh, there we go, there's a click. Went back to line mode. Right. And now we should have 62. So, oh, we got 69. Oh, there we go, we missed it. The fan turned on. So that computer turned on via this setting here. Now, because this whole rig is headless, the only thing I have is a little control panel up there on the computer. I won't actually know whether it's mining until I actually see the voltage, the amps go up. I think with one card it does 4 amps, or you start feeling the fans kick in on the card and the heat start to rise. There we go, just started mining, so it went up to 3. I think from memory that'll go up to like 4 amps. 3.7, there we go, probably because it's much cooler in here than I was doing it yesterday. Now if we go up to here, now this control panel here, the East Distro, does take a little bit of time to actually kick in, and I am reasonably sure, if we refresh that page, there we go. Now we've got 103, which is in reboot. The temps is 26 degrees, so it hasn't actually started showing up on here. We can click on the 103. Now I've got this all standard because this is just that, ETHOS, and password is password123. Rightio, so that logs into that. Now I can go show miner, SHOOW space MINER, enter, and then that shows us that it is mining at 29 megahashes at 7.8 amps. So if we go 7.8 amps, no, what is it? 3.7. So you get 3.8 amps times. We look back over here and we go menu, and we need the voltage. So it's 51.4 times 51.4 equals 195 watts. So that's pretty good at 48 volt. Right, now if we want to turn it back off again, so we get in the morning and we need to turn it back off again, we're gonna go back to menu, go to control logic. So now we want to turn it back off again. We've got 51.62, so we change that to just below. So we just actually, if we leave it there and then turn a load back on again, so turn utility, go back to SBU, apply. Okay, we should hear a click up here. It does take a few seconds to change back, and it's saying line mode on the computer. You hear a little click once it clicks back. It can take up to 10 minutes to actually click back if you've been playing with it. You can't just change settings backwards and forwards on this and expect it to happen instantly. We might actually change that voltage to 51.4 volts, enter, save, and there we go. I think I might speed this up a little bit by simply turning off my solar. There we go, that just clicked. That might have been the charge controller clicking over. We didn't change the the transition delay stop. So we've got to change that to 10 seconds as well. Enter, save, amps, that's actually turned off. So there we go. It does work. So you've got to do the transition stop and the transition restart to the time you want. Now obviously I have it done to 600 seconds, which is 10 minutes, so it's got to completely go past it before it'll change states, because you might have a load at that point in time where you either get a bright lot of sun, or you might have the dryer on or something like that, so you don't want it clicking backwards and forwards, because these relays do have a limited lifespan of turning on and off. Well, there we go, tubers. I can actually mine cryptocurrency from my battery bank DC to DC, so no inefficiencies moving it from DC to AC to DC and 12 volt to 40, whatever. It's going to stop my batteries from being fully charged, which is a really good thing, because these things ramp down once the batteries start to get charged. So if I can keep them from getting fully charged, we use as much power as we possibly can from the solar panels and waste less energy in the long run. Version 2 will have 2 video cards. We will try and make this a little bit safer. And version 3, if this actually works, we might actually get a second DC to DC. So tubers, thank you very much for tuning in. If you like these videos, smash that like button, or the other one if you don't like it, I guess. But if you made it this far, there should be a couple of those. Really helps the channel. Thank you very much for everyone for tuning in, and I'll see yous on the next one. Cheers.